having one of them mornings, you know, where you can't find your glasses, you know, that kind of thing. Well, let's go outside in the fresh air. Oh, it's a bit, ooh, it's a bit fresh. Let's go out in the fresh air and, oh, say hello to the stray, not stray cat anymore. So, this is a sort of semi-permanent resident now. There's teeth on the thing. It's got some fangs. So this isn't the one that bit the wife. This is one that initially got called Manky. That was his nickname because he came here a bit manky. Needed a damn good brushing. It's got some teeth on him though. Look at those fangs. Vampire cat. And yeah, look at them. Cool. Got some gnashers, hasn't he? And now we call him Tank. And he's like a little badger, to be honest. He's absolutely solid. If you hit him in the car, you're going to write the car off, I reckon. He's an absolute lump. All our other cats are a bit soft and squidgy. You pick them up and they're all floppy. He is like picking up a block of concrete. What do you want, mate? I'm busy, I'm talking to people. Got things to do, got to get on. So, welcome, good morning to southern Russia. Oh, another wonderful day. Swimming pool, 15 degrees. Got its winter coat on. But, it's going to be about 20 degrees today. It's unusual for this time of year. It's warmer than Novembers normally are, especially halfway through November, which we nearly are, I suppose. But it's lovely. It's really nice. Haven't got to water the plants anymore because the dew does that. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So some of you may have noticed that I started a live stream. What, mate? I'm sorry, I'm not here to entertain you. If you're bored, that's not my problem. Yeah, that and all. So some of you may have noticed that I started a live stream last night. And finished a live stream last night, actually. Did a very short live stream talking about the 821 decree, the new decree, which we'll get into. And it was just, I think, wrong title. Which always makes a difference. Wrong time. Yeah. So, didn't go very well. Wasn't much interaction. So I deleted it and thought I'd do it again this morning at a better time when I'm a bit more awake. And, yeah, I saw something this morning that thought, yeah, better talk about that as well. So, morning. For reference, we are just outside a seaside resort town in southern Russia called Anapa, A-N-A-P-A, on your Google Maps. And you'll see where we are, just off the coast of the Black Sea, about 50 miles from Crimea. So, beautiful part of the world, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, what shall we start with? Let's start with the Kremlin Magician, shall we? Hollywood. Don't know, might not be Hollywood, but got Jude Law in it apparently. New film coming out with Jude Law, so I'm guessing it's Hollywood. Don't know, don't really care. But I'm seeing it being advertised. I haven't looked at it. Might be an independent thing, might be fake news even. Blimey, maybe I'm regurgitating fake news, I don't know. Anyhow, apparently new film coming out called The Kremlin Magician. About Vladimir Putin in the 90s. Do you need to watch it? You know what it's going to be? Round of bullshit propaganda from the West to try and instigate regime change in the young people of Russia. That's what it is. That's, let's put a proper label on it, shall we? That's exactly what it's going to be. It will be a factually incorrect historical version of Vladimir Putin's early years, and it will portray Vladimir Putin as some crazed, narcissistic, money and power hungry lunatic. That's what it will do. It will portray him as a completely ruthless man that doesn't care about anybody apart from himself, including his family. And it will portray him as somebody that just obsesses over immense wealth and power. That's what it will be. And it'll be nice and glossy, and it'll look really pretty. And the sole purpose will be to get as many young Russians to watch it as possible so that they can hate Vladimir Putin too. That's what it'll be. So I'm just telling you now, so you haven't got to watch it, because it'll just be a complete load of shit. It won't be factually correct. Why won't it be factually correct? Because the West isn't factually correct about Russia, because they don't know what Russia is. The days of the West having people in government, diplomats, well, they're gone for a start. But anybody that actually knows anything about Russia or Russian people or culture are gone, over. So now they just have this Hollywood version of Russia, which is evil place. Must be evil. Which it's not. But that's the version. That's what everybody in the West is being sold. What's the latest one? Oh, Belgium, yeah. Belgium's the latest. Remember Belgium, the superpower? Yeah, Belgium's the latest one, isn't it? They're going to wipe Moscow off the map, and they're going to get all of their population to sign up to the military to fight the Russians. Belgium. And then yesterday we had, was it yesterday? Day before? We had Latvia declaring themselves a superpower. The Latvian Defence Minister declaring that Latvia is a drone superpower. I would say gnome superpower. So, what? What are you doing? Oi, you're not a bird. What are you doing? Get off, you clown. Cat's the bane of my life. Some of you may know, I've been in hospital for over a week from a cat bite. Some of you may not know. Yeah, really serious. She was trying to help a stray cat that had an infection in its ear by cleaning its ear, and it wasn't that keen on it. So it bit hand, and within a few hours her hand had swollen up quite severely. On that day she was nauseous, and by early evening was running a really high temperature, and her hand was like a balloon. So called an ambulance. And this is one of the beautiful things about Russia, is the healthcare. So we called an ambulance. That, bearing in mind we're in a rural location, we're in rural Russia. The ambulance was here in less than 20 minutes and got taken to the main hospital, or one of the main hospitals, there are several, in Anapa, emergency hospital. And within 45 minutes of our arrival at the hospital, she had seen 6 doctors, I think, consultants. She had had a tetanus injection, a anti-rabies injection, 2 blood tests, urine test, and a chest x-ray. Oh, and admitted to ward, all within 45 minutes of arriving at the hospital. All of that was done. And people want to talk about healthcare in Britain and how wonderful it is and how lucky we are to have the NHS. Can you get that in the NHS? No, I'm not putting the NHS down. You know, you don't have to make something look good by putting something down. You just talk about something that's good. And Russian healthcare is pretty damn good. So yeah, within 45 minutes of arriving at the hospital, she had all the tests done, had the chest x-ray, and been treated, had the first treatment, antibiotics, and had been admitted to the ward. And yeah, I brought her home yesterday. So yeah, healthcare here in Russia is, I'm sorry, I just, and I'm sure there are Russians that have had problems and issues and all the rest of it. I totally get it. I'm not blinkered, but my experience, and this is what I always talk about, my experience, that the healthcare here is far exceeds anything I've ever had. So, yeah, so we brought her home and told her not to play with the cats. Anyhow, where was I? I digress. So we done the Kremlin Magician, didn't we? Yeah. We got senile old Trump. I'm sure he's going a bit cuckoo, isn't he? Because he says something and then a day later he must forget that he's already said it and says the opposite, and that's just, well, that's dementia, isn't it, really? And he's at that age, I suppose, isn't he? So, is he suffering from the early stages of dementia? I don't think we can rule it out, given the statements that come out of there. Anyhow, let's move on. The 821 decree that the West is going to grab hold of if they haven't already. So this is a new decree that's come out in Russia. I'll spin you guys around, you can see what I'm wandering around. Everything's green. Yeah, so this is the latest decree called the number 821, and it relates to military service contracts in Russia. Now, what's happening is across the internet, Telegram, certain YouTubers, other social media networks have got a interpretation of this new decree and are, how do we say, promoting it? No. They've got an interpretation of this new decree and they are pushing it out to say that any Westerner that comes to Russia will now have to sign a military contract. That's what they're saying. So you can imagine there's a lot of people with their heads completely fallen off, running around going, oh my God, I've got to leave Russia, or I can't go to Russia because I don't want to sign a military contract and go and be sent to the front. And the first thing, as I said last night, you have to think about is, what's the narrative in the West? What's the big thing that they have been banging on about? What do even the government websites talk about? Don't travel to Russia. You will get put into military service and sent to the front lines. That's the narrative. That's what they tell you. That's all to scare you and stop you coming to Russia. I get that question constantly. What's the situation regarding military service? Will I get arrested at the airport? Will I be detained? Will I have to sign a military service contract? No, and no. But this is the latest decree, and that's how it's been interpreted, through misinformation, through poor translation, various reasons. But the sum total is, this is going around now, that you're going to have to sign a military contract. And as I say, first and foremost, just think about the Western narrative. So that's the first thing. So the West is going to grab hold of this. The news outlets are going to grab hold of this. And I'm sure it will be in the news at some point in the not too distant future. And they'll be doing what lots of other people have been doing. Now, I understand that maybe official documents can be difficult to digest at some time, but this one isn't. It's not difficult to digest. It's pretty straightforward. But even some solicitors, and from what I understand, even immigration officers, haven't interpreted the document correctly. So the document relates to people, foreigners that have had a previous military contract, have a current military contract, or want to sign a military contract. It relates to anybody that may have been killed whilst serving under a military contract. But what it doesn't relate to is compulsory. The words can, should, and must quite often used, and I can go to the shops, I should go to the shops, or I must go to the shops. Only one's compulsory. The others are, kind of up to you, aren't they? And that's the same with this document. That's part of it. So there are 3 key points that are being bandied around about this latest decree. And point 1 is the interpretation. A lot of the interpretations that I've seen and the translations relate to you having to sign a compulsory voluntary military contract. Just think about that one for a minute. A compulsory voluntary military contract. Well, that's a bit of an oxymoron, isn't it? Not very voluntary if it's compulsory, is it? So that's a load of horseshit, isn't it? Clearly that's nonsense. The second thing, and this is just from a logical perspective, the government issued last year, end of last year, Decree 702. Most people have heard of that. I myself took advantage of that. Decree 702 permits friendly or unfriendly countries, their citizens, to travel to Russia, apply for temporary residency, to be able to stay for 3 years, without having learnt the Russian language or the laws or the history. So without having taken the exam. That's what it enables you to do. So normally the immigration exam requires that you have a certain level of language skills in Russian, understand some elements of Russian law and Russian history, which is very difficult as a Westerner if you can't speak Russian, especially if you're old like me. So it's very challenging. So 702 decree was put in place to negate that for certain citizens from certain countries. The list was produced. And it's a fantastic thing. It's brilliant. The government put a lot of time, effort and money into doing that. So it makes no sense to now produce a decree that says anybody coming on a 702 decree to Russia wanting to apply for temporary residency or permanent residency now must sign a military contract. Simply because nobody's going to come. You're going to get the odd one, you're going to get the odd Call of Duty player that wants to go to the war. You're going to get a few people that believe in it, in the cause of the Russian Federation and want to come and fight for Russia. But the vast majority of people, Westerners, want to come to Russia for the quality of life. I mean, look at my quality of life. Not too bad, is it? They want to come for the quality of life. They want to come because the culture is amazing, the people are amazing, the food, everything else. That's what they want to come here for. Doesn't mean they're not prepared to fight for their home and their family, but it doesn't mean that they want to come here and be sent to the front. So if this decree was that, and you had to sign a military contract, 702 decree, you might as well tear it up. Because nobody will come. Nobody will take advantage of it. So that doesn't make any sense, does it? Just from a logical perspective. Why try to encourage Westerners to come to Russia and then produce a decree saying, yeah, but you're going to have to go and serve in the military and go and fight? It's just not going to happen. So it doesn't make any sense from logic. And the third thing, and this is, I've only seen one person mention this, and that was Braden Legal Services, who's a solicitor. It's the only person I've seen mention this. And I've stumbled across his post yesterday yesterday evening, after I'd already had a rant and done my little rant. He's the only other person that's mentioned this, and this is the key point. You cannot be mandated to join the Russian military, to sign a military contract, if you are not a Russian citizen. So if you are in Russia on temporary residency or permanent residency, or you're applying for those, you cannot be mandated to join the Russian military, because it's in the constitution, as I understand, that only Russian citizens can be mandated to join military. Now, it doesn't mean you can't join the military, but it does mean that it's not compulsory. It means that it's voluntary. If you want to sign a military contract in Russia, you absolutely can. No question. But it's voluntary. It's not compulsory. And that's the thing that's being missed about this 821 decree, what people are interpreting. And they are twisting it and manipulating it to say that you've now got to sign this military contract. And I understand there are maybe some cases where people have gone to the immigration centre to apply for permanent residency and they've been turned away because they haven't got a military contract. Well, that doesn't mean that the decree is wrong. It merely means that maybe that particular immigration officer did stand the decree. It's a brand new decree and they haven't wrapped their head around it yet. Rather than process an application that they're not sure about, they just deny the application payment for clarification. And it's the same with these lawyers. Some of them have stopped offering services relating to this new decree and applying for permanent residency, simply, because they don't understand the decree. Now, just think about this as a logical perspective. If a lawyer doesn't understand a point of law and you go to him, is he going to say, yeah, I don't understand it, or I don't know? Or is he going to say, I'm not prepared to offer services around this decree at the moment. It needs clarification, and there are certain points that are badly written or that require some additional amendments. Is that what he's going to say? Or is he going to say, I don't understand it? Yeah, exactly. So, and I don't blame him. If I was a lawyer and I didn't understand, a new point of law, if I couldn't wrap my head around it, if I was a little unsure about it, if I was a little unsure of the wording, I'd do the same. I wouldn't put myself in a legal position where I might be wrong. So I would do the same thing. I would turn around and say, I don't understand that decree, so I'm not going to have anything to do with it at the moment. So I get it. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they're doing anything malicious. They're doing the right thing, really. If they've not fully understood it or they're a little unsure about it, best not offer services relating to it. But it doesn't mean the decree is wrong. It just means that people have interpreted wrong. And I've had this since I've been in Russia. I had it with the 702 decree on my application. I went to the immigration centre and they told me that I hadn't got the correct documents. Well, I knew I had. But, they told me my British police check was the wrong document and I needed an FBI check, and sent me away. Basically said, go away from the window. You haven't got the right documents. Come back with the right document. And I initially stepped away from the window and then I thought, what do you mean? How can I don't need an FBI check. I'm not bloody American. That's impossible. So I went back to the window and I said, look, I'm English. I'm not an American. I don't need an FBI check. And they said, no, you do. You still need an FBI check. And I said, well, that's impossible. I can't get one. It's physically impossible. So, after a little bit, they went away. And these two ladies, they went away and checked and came back and said, no, you're right. And it wasn't that they were stupid or malicious or anything at all. It was just that it was a brand new decree and they'd never seen a British police check. The only foreigner, Western police checks or background checks that they'd seen were FBI ones. They just assumed that everybody had to have an FBI one. So, as is often the case with new decrees, new laws, the initial interpretation can be mistaken. And that's exactly the case in this latest decree. The initial interpretation is, maybe some people say it's not clear. Well, we've read it. It looks pretty clear. Some people are saying it's got to have clarification. And maybe the Russian government will agree and go, yeah, okay, we're going to clarify some points. But maybe they'll look at the decree and go, well, it's pretty obvious. That's what it says. And if people are stupid enough to not work that out, that's their problem. I don't know. But ultimately, with Russian documents, it's a very simple process. If it's written in the document, it's relevant. If it's not in the document, why are you asking a question about it? It's not relevant. It's not in the document. So they're not ambiguous. It's not all thou arts and where-tos and, you've got to interpret, you've got to read between the lines. They're not like that. It's just very plain and simple. There can be a lot of jargon, for sure, but it is very plain and simple in the fact that if it's not mentioned in the document, then that particular question that you may have is irrelevant. So, yeah, that's pretty much the size of it. Where's it going to go? Well, as I say, it's going to be that people will digest it over time and work out that all this initial scaremongering was misplaced, or there'll be some amendment or some clarification from the government. Captain, having a zoomies 5 minutes, I think. Where are you? Oh, you're up in the box. Idiot. So that's pretty much how that's going to roll. But you also have to remember that there may be some undesirables, shall we say, that feel the need to promote that kind of interpretation. Because it does play into the Western playbook of, go to Russia, get conscripted. So there are going to be some people that say that's what the new decree says. So, if you are looking to go to Russia, if you're looking for temporary residency, permanent residency, and you have heard that this new decree means that you've got to sign a military contract, just take a step back, think about it logically. You can either do one of two things. You can either be patient and see if there's any clarification, or you can press forward with it. And, if you meet resistance in the immigration centre, if you've got a particular immigration officer that says, no, it says you've got to have a military contract, then maybe find another immigration officer. Of course, there are hundreds of them. And it could be just a simple fact that you just happen to get somebody that hasn't interpreted it correctly. But, like I say, words matter in Russia. If it's in the document, it's relevant. If it's not in the document, it's not. And having to have a compulsory military contract to apply for residency is not in the document. And as I said, the key point to remember is only Russian citizens have a compulsory duty to sign a military contract. Only Russian citizens. So as a foreigner, you cannot be mandated to sign a military contract. And that's the point that I want to keep reiterating, and I have kept on banging on about it. So there we go. Anyway, on a lighter note, senile old Trump. Oh dear, what is he doing? I mean, somebody should just give him some basic education on stuff, It's the latest, nuclear tests. Other countries are nuclear testing. We will start nuclear testing. Well, what other countries nuclear testing? None. Oh, Russia. And he's implying, obviously, Russia. Well, somebody should educate the fool that a nuclear test involves the detonation of a nuclear device. Monitoring it, measuring it, assessing it. It's not about the delivery system. And that's all that's been tested, the delivery system. There hasn't been a nuclear detonation. So therefore, there hasn't been a nuclear test. But Trump doesn't understand that, because he's not a military guy. He's a bully boy businessman. Power, peace through strength. Urgh, idiot. Oh dear. So, yeah, we've got all that crap going on as well. And now, like I say, Latvia becoming a superpower. I mean, that's a worry, isn't it? Oh dear. I don't know how I'm going to cope with that. Right on the border. Superpower just emerged overnight. Terrifying. Anyway, let's say hello to some of you guys. Been ranting for a bit. Went on a bit of a rant tonight this morning. Good early morning from Florida. Morning, Roy. Hope you're well. Hope you got blue skies. Well, Florida, you definitely have blue skies like we have, haven't you? I'm sure. Unless it's tornado season, which I think you've passed that now, aren't you? It's freezing in Florida this morning, which is very unusual here. There you go. Chris, you should read 3 comments and then go back to the first one. Yeah. Andrew, hey from London. I recently applied for temporary residence permit to come over. Excellent. Well done, Andrew. If your application was accepted, then you can pretty much guarantee that everything's correct. And if you're just waiting to hear, I know it's that time when you're in limbo land where you're hoping that you'll get accepted. But the simple way it works is if they accept your application in the visa centre, it means that everything you've done, your submission is correct. Otherwise, they just reject it anyway. So don't worry. Unless you're an axe murderer, should be all right. Correct, mate. Total propaganda. Yeah, complete. That's exactly what it is, and that's how it should be viewed. Knee-jerk reaction by some people and nefarious intentions by others. If that's the right word. Sounds good. Tone skill. Hello from Pooh, England. Oh, mate. It's nice here. Oh, got that big yellow thing up in the sky. Where is it? Can't see it in the camera. It's over there somewhere. Look. Oh no, I was going to sit on that. Wandering around in my pyjamas. Yes, I'm at that age. It's not pyjamas, it's lounge clothing. Anyway. Propaganda, every war has it, indeed. But you got to admit, bro, Putin comes from the hardcore. I will absolutely admit that Putin is a no-nonsense, non-woke bloke. 100%. Absolutely. No question. He's what I would call an alpha male. He's a man's man. And he's come up, I won't say the hard way, but he's certainly come up and seen the hardship. And that man has transformed Russia and his government and taken it from the dark ages to, well, one of the leading countries in the world. And as I always say, and people don't like this, but this is a simple fact, history will prove I'm right. Vladimir Putin will go down in history as one of the greatest leaders of our time. It's just a fact. It's just words, but it's fact. You cannot argue against that point. You may have some delusion based on Western propaganda that he's some kind of evil monster, a dictator and all the other crap, but that's exactly what it is, absolute crap. I'm sure he's a tough cookie. I'm sure he takes no prisoners and takes no nonsense. But he is not the 200-foot high titanium teleportating? New word, Chris. Teleporting Leviathan that the West portrays him to be. Because if you believed everything in the West about Vladimir Putin, that's what he would have to be. Because he's responsible for everything. If your cheese gets hijacked in the UK, Putin done it. Fact, True story, that. So, yeah, that's not the case. Gurgis, just rude, get deleted for stuff like that. Can't be doing with rudeness. Be polite, be respectful, or jog on. NHS is shit. It's difficult for me to argue against that sentiment, mate, after what I went through. Yeah, as some of you know, I came to Russia needing surgery when I left the UK. That was my option, to have surgery. There was no other option. In and out of hospital for months, several tests, and that was my option. Surgery's on my neck, and you know, we're just deciding whether you need one surgery or two. But you should be aware that you may never speak again. Your face might be paralysed on one side after the surgery because it's a very difficult surgery. I wasn't that keen, I've got to be honest. Anyhow, the medical professionals told me that that's my only option. After having surgery in 2012, having my throat cut open, that was all that was left. Another surgery or surgeries. Yet, here I am, surgery-free, able to breathe now, whereas before, lumps in my neck prevented me from breathing. If I put my head down like this, cut off my windpipe and I couldn't breathe. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. I came to Russia. Doctor in Russia went, what the hell? Why haven't they treated it? And yeah, the rest is history. I had some treatment here in Russia and here I am. No surgery. So, yeah, I know I've digressed a little bit, but it is difficult for me to argue against that comment that the NHS is, yeah. Great respect to Russia, the mother homeland. Thank you, Gurgis. You've redeemed yourself. Charles, kinda like you. Oh, Charles, touched. Kinda like you too. At the moment, let's see. Good morning, Chris and Natalia. Good morning. You were here last night in the live stream. Same subject, sweetheart. Talking about the 821. Just wanted to, you know, hit the internet at a different time. Hopefully some different people pick up on it. And again, as I said last night, if one person sees the stream about the 821 decree and thinks, oh, hang on, that's not what I've been told, and makes them question it, then good, I've done my job. It's not my job, but you know what I mean. I've done what I've set out to do, which is just sort of dispel the propaganda and the nonsense, of which there is a lot. Nice weather in the morning. Welcome to the south. Lovely, isn't it? Absolutely lovely, yeah. Oh. What's better than getting up in the morning, being able to walk out in the garden? I'll tell you what's better. I'll tell you exactly what's better. Being able to get up in the morning, walk out in the garden with the sun and get in the bloody swimming pool. That's what would be better. It's 15 degrees in that pool and I'm not going in it. I'm not a polar bear. And I know 15 degrees is, you know, sort of springtime temperature in the English Channel. But I'm acclimatised now. And 15 degrees, you might as well have icebergs floating through it. That's as much interest as I have in that pool now. Covered, chemical tested, balanced, pump running, done. See you next year, Paul. I ain't going in it. I might do it in January. God, I've got to do it, haven't I? It's that thing that Russians do. Is it the 17th of January? You crazy Russians. Where you cut a hole in the ice and jump in. Ooh. Oh. I do the cold plunge in the sauna. I cook myself in the sauna. And we've got a cold plunge and I'll go and stand under that. And that's, some may say refreshing. Some may even say challenging or invigorating. Borderline torture. But I do that. So maybe I've got to jump in the pool in January. But aside from that, I'm not going in the pool. Anyway. Tone skill. Is the British police check a CRB? No, it's not. Absolutely not. Now, again, there's a little bit of confusion around that, because some people in the early days got your basic criminal record background check, which you use if you, say you apply for a job working in a nursery in the UK, you have to get that. And some people have done that, and what I understand is that they've actually had that check accepted in their application. So, of course, those people are going, no, this is the only thing you need. That's incorrect. They just got lucky. The actual document you need is an ACRO is the company. I've done a couple of free videos, 2 or 3 videos about applying for temporary residency in Russia. I think they're titled, So You Want to Come to Russia, or You Want to Move to Russia, Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. If you search in my YouTube channel, you will see them, and they detail the documents that you need, and also the links to the website where you need to get the official background check. So no, it is not a CRB. It is a very different document, very specific document. And you also need to get it apostilled in the UK as well, which means notarized that it's a legal document. But like I say, there are free videos on my channel that detail the documents that you need if you're coming from the UK. So don't make that mistake. It is not a CRB check, mate. Where in the UK are you? I'm... Shall I? Yeah, I'm in a Napa. If you put that in your Google Maps, you'll see whereabouts in the UK I am. ANAPA. You may not have heard of it, but it is there. It's just quite far south. Suri said hi. Isa, what about the Muslims over there? What about them? Oh, fun with glasses. Oh, Agent Smith. So that's just rude, you see. I don't do rudeness. Be respectful, be polite. Or, get booted. Dos Vidania. Not here to make friends and influence. Tone skill. I'm needing some work on my spinal root nerves across. So what happens if you come to Russia, then go to doctors? Do you have to pay? You have a choice. If you get TRP, you then get free healthcare. But what I would say is, if you come to Russia and you need something like that, just go private. Because in the UK, that'll probably cost you tens of thousands of pounds. Here, £2.50. No, I'm joking, but to give you an idea, I had a topography scan and a CAT scan, CT scan, paid privately. I think I booked them in the morning and went in the afternoon, same day. It might have been the next day, but that would have been for us. I mean, literally, I can go and get a CT scan now, no problem at all. And the cost was 50 quid for both of them. So yeah, if it's something serious that you need to have it dealt with, just go private, mate. It's so cheap. I mean, a blood test here is £6 privately, and you get the results the same day. So yeah, it's difficult to fathom when you're used to a system that's broken, really, and it takes weeks and months. But no, you don't have to pay if you've got temporary residency. If you're just on a visa, then yes, you don't get free healthcare unless it's an emergency, an accident or something. Dude, that's a crazy view. What, my view or the view from the terrace? How about the view from the terrace? Nice here. Nice, lovely. Should go up on the top terrace. You can see all the hills and the vineyards in the background. Lovely. Oh, it's minus 17. Oh, brutal. Yeah, can't be doing with that. Can't be doing with that. Mr. D. Michael, are you David Gilmour? I'd like to be a pound behind him. Cool. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. I'm not a groupie. I don't know the names, dates and addresses. But I do love a lot of the music and have done for a long time. So I don't see that as an insult, luckily for you. So you'll get away with that one. But the first Muppet that mentions Breaking Bad is gone. Messi or Ronaldo? Sorry, mate, I'm not into hockey. So I'll be honest, I have no clue. And not only do I have no clue, I have no interest. As they say, balls or engines? And it's engines for me, I'm afraid. Not into balls. It's a whole other story, isn't it? Oh dear. Angry armadillo. Sailing close. Oh, there he is. He's gone. Gotcha. I knew you'd show your colours. Yeah, I know. Bit brutal. Bill, good morning. Another nice day? Yes, mate. Yeah, you know what it's like here. It's lovely. So yeah, another nice day, mate. Nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well. I was going to do a walk and talk today, but as the wife came out of hospital yesterday, I'm going to refrain from that. I want to be around, make sure she's all right, make sure we haven't got any dramas, make sure she's not trying to feed cats or repair their ears. So, yeah, you just got me wandering around the house at the moment. It's quite nice, though. It's nice for me, anyway. So, yeah, so that's it, really. Another very short live stream. Just, again, to talk about the 821 and the wobbly head, headless chicken craziness that's already been pumped out around it. Take no notice. You do not have to sign a military contract if you are not a Russian citizen. Just remember that point. It's very simple. You have to be a Russian citizen to have to sign a military contract. You can voluntarily sign a military contract, and that's up to you if that's what you want to do. But you cannot be mandated to sign a military contract unless you are a Russian citizen. That's the point I'm going to leave you on, guys. Unless, hello. Where area is your house? Did you build it? How much was the land and full build? Tone Skill, have a look at, there's lots of videos on my channel about the house. We are in a village called Gostogoyevskaya, just outside of Napa. Yes, we bought the land and we built a house, not personally with my own hands, but with a developer. Lots of videos about it, mate. If you join my Telegram group and want to ask specific questions, I'm happy to answer that. It's difficult to sort of answer broad questions, but if you've got specifics, no problem at all. So join the Telegram group. Just say hi on any of the posts and I'll add you to the chat group if you can't find the chat group. It's just the discuss button, but if you can't find it, the Plastic Russian on Telegram. Put a comment down. I'll see the comment. And yeah, more than happy to have a chat and answer your questions. Irvin, how's the leg, mate? How's the knee? Hope you're doing all right. Hello, Chris. Glad I could catch a live one. Any update on Rosie? No, mate. Unfortunately not. Some of you know, some of you don't. One of our cats went missing. And it's the one cat that wouldn't go missing, if that makes sense. She's not one that jumps over the fence and goes wandering off. So I have my theory, but I won't voice it. But yeah, no news, I'm afraid. So I shall be quadrupling the reward, because that cat, I believe, is in somebody's house somewhere. Now, it's either through malicious intent or just through trying to do the right thing and finding a cat. But there's a lot more to the story, and on that basis I will start increasing the reward significantly. So I want to get a result, because my wife is in tears every day about that cat. It's very personal to us, that cat. So yeah, the knee is getting along good. Have you ever rented a car there? Wondering if it's expensive or just to go with public transport. Glad the knee's getting on, mate. I haven't rented a car here. I don't know the cost. I think it's... No, I don't know. I know Sam rented a car, and I was quite surprised at the cost. I think it was sort of 3,000 rubles a day, which I wasn't expecting out. I thought it was going to be cheaper. I don't know why. I suppose everything else in Russia is cheaper, so I just assumed that would be. But I suppose £30 a day is not a lot of money nowadays, is it, for renting a car? But that shows the last time I rented a car, that's how much it was, £27 a day. So no, I haven't rented one. I don't know if it's expensive or not. I know Sam did. I'm sure he said it was 3,000 rubles a day. As regards public transport, yeah, it's phenomenal. Especially in the towns. You know, the buses are pennies. Taxis are everywhere, any time of day, and extremely cheap. I mean, crazy cheap. So you can certainly get around. Yeah, relatively cheaply. Buses are literally pennies. Yeah, so I don't know. I suppose it depends what you want to come and do. If you want to go exploring here, there and everywhere, then maybe a car is better. But if you just want to get, you know, from the airport or a train station to your village, and then, you know, the occasional trips, then I would suggest public transport. But if you just want to be going here, there and everywhere in the back and beyonds, you could easily do it with taxis, easily. But maybe you want the flexibility of having your own transport. No need to thank me, mate. You're more than welcome. Tone skill. Do people bring their right-hand drive cars over? Yes, they do. There's quite a few right-hand drive, even this far over, because there's a lot of cars coming in. Is it Vladivostok or... Yeah, I think it's Vladivostok. They come over from Japan, so they're right-hand drive in Japan, obviously. So there's a lot of Jap import stuff here that's right-hand drive. So people do bring them. I don't know about import duties. I don't know enough about it. I understand there's a temporary residency or permanent residency, you can bring in 1 car a year, I think, and pay a fixed amount of import duty, which is very low. But I believe that car must then cross the border and go out of the country every year, and that can just be a day trip. Or you can, yeah, I don't know enough about it because I haven't bothered, I'll be honest. I didn't do it, so it's not something I looked into as a subject. But people do bring cars over. I don't know if it's worth the hassle. It really depends on the car. You know, if you've got a £3,000 car in the UK, I wouldn't bother. But if you've got something like a 3-year-old Range Rover, then I definitely would bother, because the price is double over here. So, you know, something like if you could find a left-hand drive Range Rover in the UK, and especially something like a supercharged V8 5-litre petrol, which would be pretty much, I would say, the most plummeting in price car available in the UK, 5-litre V8 supercharged petrol Range Rover, left-hand drive. I mean, that literally is doom, isn't it, as they would say in the car trade. So the price of that in the UK would be nowhere near anything like it's worth, but bring it over here and the price would be triple. So yeah, maybe that's an option, but you know, in general, I don't think it's worth it. Tone skill, mine is a 2016 Audi A8 TDI. Yeah, nice car, nice car. Came close to buying an A8 a few times through my car journey over the years. Beautiful car, wonderful motorway muncher. Yeah, all the car you could ever want. It just isn't exciting, I suppose. You know, it's the same as a Honda Legend. I don't know if you remember them. Fantastic car, but nobody bought them, because you don't wake up in the morning thinking, I must rush out and buy a Honda Legend. But yeah, you know, lovely car, lovely car, but you know, limited market, I guess. But you know, a lot of value for money, second hand, and certainly over here, 2016, one of those. Yeah. I wouldn't know what the price would be, but it will definitely be at least double what it's worth in the UK, at least. Second-hand cars seem expensive in Russia. Yes, they are. That's my one bugbear with Russia, the price of cars. They are expensive, and new cars are expensive. I mean, our car, I think if you bought it in Japan or in Europe, it would be about 27,000. Where here I paid the equivalent of 40,000. So yeah, expensive. Good question, Irving. Yes, Russia is allegedly 220, although well, it says 220, 240, air on the side of 240. We've actually got control devices on our electricity system that cut the power at 250 volts. And occasionally it has tripped. So it is, yeah, the voltage is quite high. It is quite high. I haven't seen anything at 220. It's running between, I would say, 235 and 245 as an average. Which might sound scary, but everything works. Yeah, all the electronic devices work, chargers work, laptops work, don't have any issues with anything. The only electrical problem we ever had was when we had a dodgy electrician in the early days wire up the 3-phase, because it comes into the house as 3-phase, believe it or not, and he got one of the phases round the wrong way, and that fried a few things, fried the fridge. That was in the small house, in our little house. So yeah, but they were good as gold. You know, it was the developer had sent the electrician round, and they were good as gold. They replaced all the equipment. Yeah. Accidents happen, mistakes happen. It's how they're corrected that matters. Oh, look at the weather. Oh, God. I'm standing here thinking I should go swimming. I was going to go 10 minutes ago, you guys. Do UK TV and other electrical things work in Russia? Yes, mate. I don't know what a UK TV is. I don't think Britain manufactures any TVs. But, yeah, I mean, we've got a Hisense TV, but we had a Samsung TV before that. And, yeah, they all work. Same voltage, you know, everything. The TV runs through the internet. Nobody's, you know, we haven't got a satellite dish. People do have them. Wiring's there for it, but we haven't got a satellite dish. It's just internet. Everything comes through the internet. So yeah, smart TV. Oh, what a lovely day. Almas in the sky. Etagader. Yeah, I can't read Russian, I'm afraid. I'm guessing you're asking where I am. So I'm going to say Gostogoyevskaya, just outside Anapa. And if you're not asking where I am, well, you just got some information that you didn't need. Oh, that's so lovely and peaceful. Do you know, I'm going to go and cook some bacon and eggs. I'm getting hungry. So what I'll do, 5 more mins, guys. If I get more interaction, people have got some questions, I'm happy to stay. I only really came on just to highlight the nonsense surrounding the latest decree. And obviously warn you all about the latest film from Hollywood, The Kremlin Magician. Don't bother. It's just a load. I mean, I haven't even seen a trailer for it, but I 100% know that it's a Hollywood film, as I understand. It's got Jude Law in it. I'm guessing it's Hollywood. I'm making some assumptions. Latest film called The Kremlin Magician, starring Jude Law, apparently. Subject is, it is about Vladimir Putin in the 1990s. I don't need to watch it. It will be factually incorrect. It will be historically incorrect. And it will just be a bunch of propaganda to demonise Vladimir Putin even more, try and feed it to the young people in Russia to try and get them to change their opinion on Vladimir Putin and rise up and regime change, because they cannot do anything else. That's their game plan. They want regime change, and that's their latest idea. So let's bash out a film making out that Putin is some kind of crazed, power-hungry, money-hungry lunatic. And that's what the film will be. And I'm sure it'll be subtle, and it'll be all subliminal like they always are. But there's no point in watching it. It's just going to be a load of shit. Can you have VPN in Russia and dodgy Fire Stick? Don't know about Amazon Fire Stick. You certainly, VPNs, a lot of people use them. What's the temperature? It's going to be about 19 degrees today. Yeah, it's lovely. Pissing down in Manchester. Yeah, it's about right. Yeah, no, it's lovely. Really, really nice. I could easily be out here in my shorts. There's no wind. Lovely. Beautiful. Leather belt. Greetings. Good morning. Wife's health. Yeah, she's good. Suffered a cat bite, and she's been in hospital for a week. Yeah, cat bites, if anybody knows, they're pretty nasty. Cats have got very, very bad mouths. And I don't mean they've just got a lot of chops. I just mean they've got a mouth full of bacteria, like getting bitten by a Komodo dragon. Yeah, not nice. Very, very unpleasant cat bites. And she got a proper cat bite from a stray. She was trying to help it. It had an ear infection. So you've got a cat with a severe infection, all the wife. So yeah, it bit her on the hand. And, you know, it was scared. It wasn't malicious. It was scared, probably in a bit of pain. It did transpire, however, that the wife did inform me afterwards that the cat had sort of had several nibbles. And I said, you don't think the cat was warning you at all then, darling? Yeah. So she carried on, and the cat bit her. And that went bad. That went downhill pretty. Ended up with her being ambulanced into hospital. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, the health system here is fantastic. Less than 20 minutes wait for the ambulance, bearing in mind we're in a rural location. Straight to hospital, and within 45 minutes she'd had a rabies injection, she'd had a tetanus injection, she'd had 2 blood tests, urine test and a chest x-ray within 45 minutes. Oh, and admitted to a ward. And the next day she was put into a private room. So yeah, all within 45 minutes. Saw 6 or 7 different doctors. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And then obviously had treatment for the hand. I mean, the hands literally, if you got a marigold and blew into it, that's what her hand looked like. It literally went like a balloon and travelled halfway up her arm. It was more like a snake bite than anything else. Looked like a venomous snake bite. Her hand swelled up massively. You know, really, really big. And yeah, super high temperature, and yeah, wasn't good for a while. But yeah, she's back home now. Picked her up yesterday. Tone skill, you're English, but you live in Wrexham, North Wales. Is Wrexham North Wales? I'll take your word for that. My geography's not great. Didn't realise Wrexham was North Wales. Yeah. Been to Wales a few times. Bought a motorbike in Wales. I was in Fishguard, South Wales, on the coast, looking across at America. My best mate used to call it a road trip, because I used to buy bikes quite a lot, and it would be like, fancy a road trip? And he's like, oh God, what have you bought now? And I bought Harley Davidson, and I said to him, oh, fancy a road trip? And he's like, where are we going? Oh, it's not far. Well, where? Yeah, but it's not far, don't worry. And he's looking at me going, you bastard, what have you tucked us up with? And then, yeah, day of actually going, I was like, yeah, it's Fishguard. Fishguard, where's that? Yeah, don't worry, just need to go west a bit. Yeah, when we got to the bridge, is it the Severn Bridge that you go over into Wales? I don't know. When we got to the bridge, he's looking at me going, yeah, right. I was just laughing, I thought it was funny. He did as well, to be honest. But yeah, Wales, 55 years old. Am I too old to come? Do you have to work straight away? No, you're not, and no, you don't. So, I'm 58. I came here at your age. I know I look good for 58, don't I? Yeah, so I came here at your age, mate. And I haven't worked since I've been here. You have to show that you can support yourself. So it's not a case of turning up, signing on, claiming your benefits. Can't do that here. Not like UK, where you just rock up and get a load of free stuff and paid a couple of grand a month. No. You come to Russia, you contribute to the economy. So you have to, if you're not going to work, you have to show that you can support yourself. Savings, pensions, whatever. And once a year, if you're on temporary residency, you have to file a tax return showing how you are supporting yourself. And some people in the UK thought, oh, bloody hell, that's terrible. Why is it? Why should you be able to go to a country and just leech off of them if you've never contributed to the economy? Why? Where is this madness? Oh, freedom of travel, freedom this and freedom that and democracy and blah, blah. Oh, piss off. Sorry, countries should be sovereign. And they should be for their citizens first, which is exactly what Russia is. Thanks to Vladimir Putin and his government, they put Russians first. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. As a foreigner, they absolutely should. My wants and needs should be secondary. Until I'm a citizen of the country, if I ever am, it doesn't matter what my wants and needs are, they're secondary to any Russian. It's as simple as that. This is not my country. I have not contributed to the economy throughout my life. I'm merely contributing to the economy now. I don't have any rights as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, my personal view, some might not agree with it, but no, you don't need to work. You just need to demonstrate that you can support yourself, mate. China banned Nvidia chips from US. Okay. Baratiki said hi. Hello. How you doing? Did you get my message about, what was it you asked? Oh yeah, it was about Mons. Did you see that? The link that I posted in Telegram to the resort, the weekend retreat. Hope you did. Oh, you found the link. Cool. Good. Irving, glad everything worked out well. Prayers for her. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Hope you're looking after my car. Yeah, no, it did. It's all come good. She's smiling at me like a Cheshire cat. Uh-oh, what have you done? Nothing.
I just seen you
Walking around in my slippers. Yeah, look at me. Oh dear. Oh, right. It's time for me to go. It is time for me to go. I need to go and do a walk and talk. Show you something interesting other than me wandering around. Your thoughts on the drying of Euphrates River. Of the drying of the Euphrates River and prophecies at the end of times. I have no clue, Leverbelt. None whatsoever. Don't have any thoughts on it because I have no clue about it. So, can't comment on a subject that I don't know anything about, mate. Sorry. Thank you for your answers. You're welcome, Tone School. Like I say, join my Telegram group. If you've got any questions at all, we can, I can message you, I can voice message you, we can have a video call if you want. If you just want to text, no problem at all. But any questions, no matter how silly you think they are, no problem at all. So join my Telegram group, message me, and any questions you've got, I'll do my best to answer them for you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Irvin. Bartiki, the Telegram chat is great. Thank you. Yeah, some good people in there. Right, thanks, guys. I'm going to cook some bacon and eggs, I think. Cheers for watching. See you in the next one.